Thank you for the introduction and thank you for being here. So the agenda for today, it will be a journey. We will start who we are, what we do, the challenges of the food and beverage market, and then what opportunities we have in front of us. So Simple One is an Italian company. We want to use the technology to bring values to the business of our customers. We said we are an Italian company, but we will see that we have a network which is a global network. We have 75% of our revenues in the food and beverage market. We want to increase this kind of share. We have the best technologies, but I think that technology is just something that we need to use, but organization and processes are two of the three big blocks that we have to touch. So here some of the customers that we implemented have companies all over the world. Yeah, of course, some clients. We said that we want to do the best for the customers. We want to improve their business. We want to grow with them, and we want to use technology. Also internally, we need to continue to innovate, to be excellent in what we do. So this is what we invest on, and this is the technologies that we want to use also in the food and beverage market. We said we are a local partner, but in a global network. So this is the presence all over the globe of our network. We want to do few things, but we want to be excellent in doing that. We want to select the best technologies for our customers. We want to integrate that technologies in their processes. We think that the teaming with the customers, is one of the main topic of the projects. If we want to innovate something, we have to team. And what's the best way of teaming? Playing together. So since 5 years, we are one of the main sponsors of this team. They won the Serie A, so the first league in Italy, the volleyball first league. And a couple of years ago, we won the Champions League, so not bad. Nothing is coming by chance. In the T-shirt, there is Simple One, so our logo, and Pomi, which sounds more or less like my surname. So this is maybe something that was bringing us to invest in the same volleyball team. So here are the ladies. So quite happy, isn't it? So we change the focus. We go to the challenges of the food and beverage companies, and not only food and beverage companies. So also challenges that are, let me say, global. I will try to interact with you. Do you think that the ladies in the picture, they are happy or not? Raise your hand if you think they are not happy. Not happy. Raise your hand. Do you think they are happy? Okay. The majority of the men in the room, they were stating that they are happy. Maybe at home you have your wife that sometimes tells you, you don't understand me. This is why. So they were playing to win the global champions, on a global level. They arrived second. And they were crying. And they were not able to stop crying. So, and this was the result. The challenges from, let me say, from Europe to the global. It was a different kind of challenge, and they haven't been able to reach that. So this was just, so what do you see on the screen? What do you think it is? Some suggestions, some ideas? I will help you. What is this? Okay. Someone was telling Beth, so the letter from the Greek alphabet. It is, so it's Beth, beta, let's say. The first letter is from the Finnish alphabet, and the meaning of it was home. Nothing happens by chance. I think that this Beth, that means home, beta, which means home, should be something that we have to keep in mind. In our word, beta means something that is not finished properly. But the speed that we have to face is so high that we have to be able to live in a beta world. The experts are telling that we are living in a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Give you some examples. So, here the numbers of people on the Earth. So we are growing quite fast. Some numbers are telling us that in 2050 we will be more than 9 billion, maybe more. So from a political point of view, the world is really, really complex. And this is an example of complexity. If we go on another kind of aspects, we are speaking sometimes about bitcoins, but bitcoins is just a small thing in a complex crypto currency where we live. And it's coming, or it's here already. Do you have teenagers at home? What's their favorite social network? Snapchat. So we think Facebook, everyone is telling here, Facebook. Facebook is no longer existing for the young people. And it's changing with a speed that it's tremendous. This is something that I want to focus a little bit. This is the digital vortex. So the more you are closer you are to the center, the biggest is the impact of the digital world. So I'm on the technology side, let's say. I'm quite in a good position. If we think about consumer packaged goods, number 8. If we think about another kind of market, hospitality, it seems not to be so impacted, it seems. But if we think that the biggest hospitality company does not own a room and it's Airbnb, maybe the digital world is impacting also in a very high way. So you are consumer packaged goods, you are number 8, but maybe also in your company, the digital world is transforming the way you move, or is disrupting the way you move. What can you see? Do you see any picture on the slide now? So this represents for us the knowledge. We sometimes had experience on it, but the real new chapter is related to creativity. So when you have seen it, you can easily see the cat in the first part. But at the very beginning, I was not able to see anything. Maybe you are better than me. But let's say creativity is the next step in front of us. All what I'm telling just to bring to have something in our mind to to keep in mind for us, for our future. So the path that we were running, maybe it's not the path that we have in front of us. So to face a VUCA world, we have to be agile, we have to manage the risk, we have to divide and conquer, but we also have to learn, fail, and fast fix. Fail and fast fix. I was speaking with a customer today, and these steps are something that we have to improve. To a VUCA world, we have to be able to give answers, and to be able to give answers means responsibility. We have a new responsibility in our companies because we have new challenges to face. I will show you a video, and during the video you have to try to understand who is doing this advertising. At the end there is the answer. Also in areas where we don't think that disrupting innovation has to be done, we have to innovate. We have to feel comfortable in a beta world. So let's move the focus on the food and beverage industries, not just on the market. So we have global trends such as climate change, population growing the middle class, the age of the population, and also the urbanization or the technologies that we were thinking about before. But we also have market forces that are stressing the food and beverage markets. And we will cross the blue one at the bottom. So there were traditional values that are still valid, which are price, taste, and convenience, but we also have new values like wellness, safety, social impact, and experience. And we try to forget social impact and experience, but the customer habits are continuously changing. The purchase decisions are made at the store, but the store is no longer what it was. So also in the food industry, the online purchase is increasing. I give you some examples. So there are countries where it is increasing faster and other countries where it's increasing slower. But if the consumers are doing that decision while they are at the store, we have to think about what we are doing for the online store, for the brand experience outside the store. Another focus is related to the safety of the foods, and of course, the sourcing and the delivery of the goods and the food are maybe the two focuses where we have to understand that the complexity is growing. I give you an example. We are speaking about environmental footprint and reduction of costs. And these are maybe in opposite directions. And we have MBOs for environment footprint and MBOs for reduction of costs. So we need to decide a little bit which is the right direction to go. So complexity is everywhere. And if we scale this in a global environment, it's really complexity, not just an easy thing to manage. In terms of requirements for the security supply chain, there is a trend that is lifting the food industry towards the life science industry. And this is really another, chapter that has to be developed. And going more closer to your company, so let me say trends, global trends, food global trends, and then internally to the company. Which are the challenges that we face? For the marketing, we have some challenges. For the innovation, we have other challenges. For the supply chain, we have others. Of course, for the marketing, today we are something like this. And the issue with the marketing is that big data are growing, but the insights that we can have from big data is not that, it can grow a little bit, but you have to use maybe creativity, but you have also to use ratio. Otherwise, you create just entropy with data. And the marketing should have a role that can bring data to information, to knowledge, wisdom, profit. And this is where we have to invest in terms of marketing analysis. Not just data or information. We have to push our direction towards our customers, our consumers. Do you know Pareto? So the 20-80-80-20. So usually Pareto is stating something like this. This is a traditional Pareto, more or less. So 20% of our customers are bringing 80% of our revenue, more or less. But what we have seen with our customers, with the projects we've done in 34 years, is that the real thing for us is like this. So we reach 100% of our revenues with less than 20% of our customers, and then all the rest is losing. Let's say analysis like this can tell us where we need to focus. We have maybe SKUs with low volume and high margin that we have to bring up, and then we have high volume with very low margin that we have to understand how to move to a better margin. But this kind of analysis, they are not convenient. Not every time. So marketing should focus maybe a little bit more on that topics. And then there is another internal issues that we have, or internal challenge that we have, which is innovation. And all the surveys on the innovation is telling that innovation is, a big focus, but many of the customers are not satisfied by the return on innovation spending. So here, ROI is not return on investment, but a return on innovation spending. So we need to manage a new process, or a process in a different way, which is the selection and translation of the best ideas to profitable things for our customers. And you know what? More than half of the product launches failure. So which are the opportunities that we have in front of us? So we spoke about flexibility, we spoke about speed, innovation, attention to the results, attention to the consumer, listen to the consumer, and so on. yesterday I was attending some speech and someone was speaking about leadership and managers. So for me, well, I will ask you something. I'm an engineer, so sometimes to be more comfortable, I try to create some formulas to understand an event in front of me. So if you would try to convert competitiveness playing with productivity and innovation, would you be in a situation where we have to multiply the two elements, or we have to add the two elements? So, you know, to multiply the two elements, it means that if I bring innovation to zero, I fail. And maybe in the past, we were just growing with innovation, but the rest was managed without innovation, with productivity. And in my mind, a leader is someone who can create the ideas, create the target, and of course we need managers to bring the ideas to the target. And we have to keep in mind that, of course, the formulas are not that simple, maybe are much more complex, but if we bring innovation to zero now, I think none of us could survive without innovation. And of course, to manage, we need the management of every part of the company. We need to analyze every single data. We have to optimize the cost, of course, but this is not enough. We have to plan, do, check, act, which is the planning activities. But sometimes we do not put in place the real checks. So we do plans, we start the activities and react, but we do not start with the checking activities up front. So if I have a new project, any project, internal, I need to focus on the measurement, because the measurement does not just tell me where I am, but the measurement can tell me if we are going in the right direction and can motivate the teams towards a goal. And of course, innovation is a process that we have to focus on. We have to share everything, but it's not just creativity, it's science, it's collaboration, and innovation is not an option. We have to do that, and it is not an opinion. We have to have, we are in the food industry. We cannot do that without, with opinions. We have to measure everything also there. Another thing that we have to take care of is the consumer experience, customer experience. Listen, engage, create, manage, and analyze. What is the consumer telling about us and what we can tell to them? We have to be able to start telling them why and what we are doing. Other opportunities closer to you, I mean, from a big environment to ourselves. I think maybe I will ask you, which is the difference between the first picture and the second one? The first picture is a hero on a Pegasus. I mean, she's not playing, she is a hero on a Pegasus. If I look I mean, am I really the boss? Or is it something that we have to change a little bit? Yesterday the panel in the afternoon was speaking about competences more than roles. The roles is something that is fixing and creating, not flexibility at all and not speed at all. So we have to reconfigure the way we look at our own activities internally and maybe how we can support the others internally. And we have to really believe what we are.
みんなの心に浮かんだことをそのまま書けばいいんだからね。
何書いたの？ね、教えてくれるかな？
鉛色の空に向かってピンピンと突き立った扉を。
The video. I'm not asking you about the video, of course, but when we try to innovate, if it is really innovation, we have to be able to communicate the innovation to the others. So there is not, such as in the video, a mother that wants to understand and wants to understand, thinking that you are value for me and so on and so forth. So we have to think how to better communicate internally. If it is really innovation, it will not be intuitive. I will give you another example. Have you ever seen The Lion King? Perfect. So, The Lion King is the same story of one of the most famous stories in the world. Which one? There was a king that has been killed by the brother, and the brother murdered the king in a very smooth way so that no one understood that it was murdered, and the son went away. And then the spirit of the father came to the son, telling what happened. What's the story? Come on, don't be shy. Hamlet. So if you've seen the film, maybe you guessed up front it was Hamlet, or not. I didn't. I realized when I've been told that it was. So this means that maybe if we are someone that brings innovation and we are not understood, it is not just the fault of the people that are in front of us, but it's our fault. We have to start to communicate better and better why we ask for such innovation, what we want to achieve, and so on and so forth. So, we said it's a VUCA world, complex, fast, volatile, and so on. And we have to keep in mind that it's not the strongest that will survive, or the most intelligent that will survive, but the most reactive and proactive to the change. So, bring home this sentence recognize your home, recognize that the beta version is your best version. And that's it.